On September 28, 2005, Brigadier General Gudani was called to testify before a Senate committee. Gudani and Comrade-at-Arms Marine Colonel Alexander Balutan defied an order from Malacanang and testified about a sinister scheme to rig the elections in Mindanao.
This AFP message form given to me at 1 a.m. this morning. And may I read before this august body, Mr.
Please
Chairman,
proceed,
Your Honor,
General.
From the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, to the Superintendent PMA, AFP, Info, OLA, AFP, per instruction of Her Excellency PGMA, no AFP personnel shall appear before any congressional or Senate hearing without her approval. Inform General Francisco Gudani and Colonel Alexander Balutan accordingly. Signed, Major Aaron, CDO, notwithstanding, for love of God and country, I am now appearing here to tell you and the sovereign people whom we have sworn to serve and protect the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. First of all, I would like to inform the Senate committee that the conversation in the Garci tape pertaining to a general who was ordered to leave his assignment during the very critical time when he was badly needed by his unit during the counting of votes of the recent national election is absolutely true. That conversation pertaining to a general who was relieved of his position for merely doing his duty of seeing to it that there should be an honest, clean, and fair election is absolutely true. Why do I say this, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors? It is because I am that general. When I was able to talk with a classmate from the Philippine Military Academy, who is now occupying also a top-level position in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, he informed me by saying that after a lot of money has been given to concerned individuals for them to deliver the necessary votes in favor of President Gloria Arroyo, and also my classmate told me that Garci asked the Provincial Election Supervisor of Lanao del Sur, Ray Sumalipao, if he could rig the election in the place. Sumalipao replied, he could not rig the election with Gudani around. All that I could say is that I did my best to do my duty as a professional soldier so that the task given to us to preserve the sanctity of the ballot would be performed. I saw to it that this mission has been communicated to my subordinate commanders, one of whom is present here, the battalion commander of the 7th Marine Battalion, Colonel Balutan. And I saw to it that this order was implemented religiously by constantly monitoring overtly and covertly. Ironically, what I got in return was an order of relief from my post. What made it worse is that I was replaced by an army colonel, in spite of the fact that almost all members of the Joint Task Force now were Marine soldiers.
Have you heard of anything, any irregularity in the counting or tabulating of the votes?
In the separate towns of Wau and Mumbaran, where it was reported that FPJ got 0 votes.
Wau, and what's that?
Wau and Mumbaran, sir.
Wau, Umbaran.
Wau and Mumbaran. These were the 2 towns placed under 4th Division, sir, because it's very far from I have to travel 9 hours to book.
In these 2 towns, you mean to say, General, in all the precincts, FPJ got 0?
I can only remember another town, sir, where he was reported to have 0 vote. Another town was
Puna Bayabao.
Puna Bayabao. In Lanao del Sur, Your Honor, sir, with my due respect to all my friends, all our brother Maranaos, it's only there where I learned. I was able to witness and observe all kinds of cheating from start to finish, from the registration of voters, Your Honor, sir. They were recruiting or hakotizing. Ano ba hakotizing sa English? Herding voters from other towns.
From other towns who are not
Yes.
registered voters of that particular town.
Yes, Your Honor. That was a problem we had even before election because so many herded voters from other towns, from other provinces, even from Lanao Norte.
The ERs of Puna Bayabao showed FPJ with 42% of the votes. But the municipal COC and provincial SOVs give GMA 100% of the votes and 0 for FPJ. In this statement of votes by city or municipality from Puna Bayabao, 100% of the votes are for GMA and all other candidates score 0. This is a statistical impossibility. In Barangay Lianan, ERs show that there were votes for FPJ and other candidates. In Bumbaran, the ERs show GMA with 27% of the vote and FPJ with 73%. But the municipal COC and provincial SOV reveal an unmistakable switch, showing GMA with 74% and FPJ with 26%. In Wao, the ERs again show GMA tailing with 33% of the vote and FPJ with 67%. But in the municipal COC and provincial SOV, we see the figures switched again, showing FPJ with 39% and GMA with 61%. In Barangay Linisk, Precinct 14, all votes were listed for GMA. In Marawi City, we see an ER with tampered results, where the total in numbers for FPJ was 123. His total in words reads 54. Also note that the taras continue even after the tallying was closed. Although the ER shows that 145 people voted, there are no tallies, taras, for the candidates. Perhaps the teachers were tired. Perhaps the watchers were in a hurry. Perhaps giving everyone a 0 was a sign of disgust and protest. This slide of provincial totals from Lanao del Sur illustrates that at the start, the ERs showed FPJ leading with 81% of the votes and GMA had 19%. The NAMFREL partial tally still showed FPJ in the lead. But the final PCOC, counted by Congress, showed GMA ahead with 75% of the vote against FPJ's 25%. The total votes affected by the very obvious dagdag bawas was 226,120.